everybody. Welcome to Back Issues. I'm Sal.
I'm Ethan.
And I'm Ben.
Feliz Navidad and happy holidays to all of our viewers out there who are interested in learning about comics through three people who completely have no respect for them. No, that's not true. I share comics that I read over the years with my two friends here who have no context for them, or at least
Very
little
little.
context for them.
Only what we've gleaned from this show.
From the last
for most part.
almost near 100 episodes of the show.
Wow.
But welcome to our holiday-themed episode. We're going to be talking about a little book starring our old pointy-eared pal Batman. Ooh. This is Batman Noel.
Oh, hey! Yeah, it's me, you guys.
Wow,
Oh,
Santa,
What's up,
what are you doing
guys?
here?
I haven't had a really good adventure in a while. You guys want to go on another fantastic adventure like we have done in the past?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
travel
yeah,
that
Yeah.
We
doesn't remember that.
We don't really do that
What?
anymore.
Wait, are you trying to say you want me to join you guys?
Yeah, we're kind of taking up the whole couch already.
Yeah, it's pretty
so-
tight. I don't think there's...
But Santa's got magic, guys. I can make... well, something like that. Santa! Yeah, Ethan, see? It fits.
Hey,
I guess
Santa.
that counts.
All right, well,
Damn it.
let's roll with it. Hey, everybody, welcome to Back Issues. Today we're talking
Yeah.
about Batman Noel. I can think of no better guest on this show than the Kris Kringle himself, Santa Claus. Thanks for
Santa.
being on the show, man.
Well,
Yeah,
thank
thanks.
you, Sal.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Ethan, Air 5, because
Yeah.
I can't reach you because they're all the way over there now.
So,
Can't believe you guys.
Santa magic.
that's right. So today we're talking about Batman Noel, written and drawn by Lee Bermejo, who is infamous for his work. Not infamous. Infamous implies negativity.
bad thing,
People
yeah.
love him, and he's an amazing artist. He's actually famous for his previous work from a 2008 book called Joker, which was actually written by Brian Azzarello. Lee Bermejo is known for drawing really dynamic, very realistic-looking art.
Did he do the cover?
He did the cover, he did all the
it looks-
interiors. This is one of those few instances where the covers actually match the interiors.
It looks like a giant Christmas picture book.
Yeah, and it kind of is. You know, like they really take advantage of, they explore the space, if
Right.
you will.
There are a lot of big images in this.
Oh, yeah, I see lots of Christmas going on there.
That's true.
All the blues and
the whites.
and mostly blue. It's just...
It's
Yeah.
it's very like
It's very monochromatic.
monochromatic.
It's a
I
blue
mean-
Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a blue
But not
Christmas.
Elvis.
No, we can't.
Okay.
We can't afford that. So
Don't start saying.
this book came out in 2011, so about 4 years ago, in like November, so right around Christmas time.
Right.
And it's just a Christmas Carol, like the story of a Christmas Carol with
Like Scrooge.
with Scrooge and everybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
But with Batman.
But with
characters.
Batman characters,
Right.
Is
and
Batman Scrooge?
Batman is Scrooge in this story.
Does he punch every ghost?
Yes.
Because I imagine that's Batman's
You
solution.
can't punch a ghost; they're incorporeal.
That's
right?
true. Well, no, but
He would find a way.
Scrooge needs to touch their robes typically to go on their adventures. And
Right.
so if they're tangible,
But instead of touching, he punches the rope.
right, exactly. That's how
Right.
he transports
That makes sense.
through time and space.
Right.
Now this
Punching.
is it doesn't actually go in any supernatural direction at all.
Oh, okay.
It is a little too literal. So and a little too on the nose.
Is it? They didn't like name characters. There's not like a Scrooge and.
Well, Batman, no, because Batman is Scrooge. He stays as Bruce Wayne.
Okay.
But the Bob Cratchit character, his name is Bob.
Okay. Because
And
that's a name that anybody could have.
Yes.
Even in Gotham. Yeah.
And the story has kind of two narrative flows, two ways in which the story is being told. One is the narrator, who is a character in the story who's telling it from the future. He's like telling the actual A Christmas Carol story,
Okay.
but
It's not Batman.
It's not Batman. It's actually Bob, the main character, I guess.
Okay.
He's just a guy who
Yeah.
he's a lowly Wayne employee.
Right.
Who I guess is being paid really poorly.
And is not going to get like a Christmas bonus.
He's not going to get a Christmas bonus. He seems like he's kind of stupid.
Oh.
Because he goes to work for the Joker.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's a bad
In the
mark
course
right
of the
there.
book, he does that, or like
Well, no. Right at the beginning. Because
Oh.
the idea here is that, like, Batman is portrayed a lot more angry, bitter, vengeful, miserly.
to make him more like Scrooge.
To make him to make him fit the archetype that they want him to fit into.
Right.
So Bob is already on the run. The idea here being that Bob took a job. He doesn't really know who gave him the job, but he's a bag man.
Oh, okay.
He's delivering
A package.
He's
some
taking
package.
a shady assignment.
Yes, he
to
took a
someone that can't be
nebulously,
good. Yeah.
moral assignment.
Maybe he's convinced himself. He's like, well, no, Wayne Corp made me do this.
Yeah,
I'm
no.
doing it for them.
Oh no,
It's,
no. He's going literally to like a lower apartment window, and he drops a package into it, and there's a bag full of money that he's supposed to take.
Yeah, that's never...
That is not up on the up and up.
Yeah, so he's going to be on the naughty list.
Yes, Anthony.
Is that what you're saying?
That's it.
Joker here and Batman and...
Yep.
Okay, good. I'm following so far.
Okay, cool.
Batman.
It is a
Yeah.
Batman book?
It's a Batman book.
Okay.
So-
And Bob's gonna do stuff.
Yeah,
right?
well, Bob is
Bob
Does
is
he,
basically...
does he have a kid with, like, a bum leg or whatever?
He,
Tiny Tim.
Tiny
I know
Tim.
that guy.
He does have Tiny. He has a Tiny Tim. No other children. No wife. And no, Tim is not bum in any way. He's just little.
He's just a brat.
tiny.
The worst thing, no, he's not really a brat. It's his problem is he has an he's sick with optimism.
Ah.
Oh, well, that is a sickness in Gotham.
Exactly. And then Batman just shows up and he's like, "Oh, why did you do?" Like he's just freaking out.
How
By
did
the way,
you find him?
because
Batman.
Batman's been tailing him.
Oh.
And
So, like, Batman's like the bad guy, I guess?
I mean, more or less, Batman is the bad guy in the beginning. The
The
idea-
Bad guy.
antagonist to Bob.
yes.
antagonizing.
And since Bob
Yeah.
is the narrator, yeah.
Yeah, so
Okay.
Bob's technically the main character, although it really is about Batman's transformation. Just like Scrooge kind of winds up being a good guy at the end.
Okay.
Batman learns
Yeah,
a lesson.
all right.
Bob Cratchit doesn't
obviously.
change at all.
No, he doesn't have to.
It'd be
He's a good
amazing
guy.
if it was, like, patterned after A Christmas Carol, but then at the end, like, Batman doesn't learn a
He's like,
lesson.
forget that!
Yeah. It's like, no, Batman's never wrong.
Yeah. The other thing about it is that he has pneumonia, Batman.
Well, that would put anybody in a bad mood.
Well,
I
yeah,
mean,
and he's
seriously.
he's really sick,
Oh.
but he's also ignoring it, and it makes him more susceptible to, I guess, suggestion.
I have to go and be Batman when I'm sick.
Yeah,
It's terrible.
Yeah, Batman doesn't take a sick
Hear
day.
me.
But what's
I
terrible
have the
about it is
night.
that because Bermejo draws it, it's in this really gritty, disgusting realism, and so later, as Batman's condition gets worse, he's like spitting, and he's like got puffy eyes. Oh, you're gonna go to the thing, and they're like, "Oh my God, Batman, what are you doing?" At one point, Selena Kyle, the Catwoman, shows up, and
Yes.
she's like. She gives chase. She pretends like she has information leading to the Joker, so he chases her, and then when he catches up with her, he just like screams in her face like an asshole.
What are you doing, you crazy cat?
You got the idea, the framework of A Christmas Carol.
Yeah.
But then you have the actual Batman story,
Right.
which is told in linear order, and you got speech bubbles and thought boxes and so forth. So it's an actual comic book. But all the things that happen throughout the book are punctuated by Bob narrating his version of A Christmas Carol to Tim.
So you get two versions of
So it's
narration.
like he's
Yes.
retelling
The actual Christmas
comic
Carol.
as if it were...
Well, Bob is retelling the story of A Christmas Carol, but from like a lower class, I don't really know this story perspective.
Okay.
And that is the weakest part of the story, where Bob's like, so there's this guy, you see, and he's a real bad guy, He's got all this money, right? And I can't really remember his name, but it's weird. Wait a minute, I think it's Scrooge. What a crazy name. Am I right, kid? Anyway, moving on.
So they
so
wrote
then
that
these
voice
ghosts
into the
come.
character?
Yeah.
So Bob is a meth addict, is what you're trying to say.
He pretty much acts like one. 'Cause, you have to be on some kind of really effed up drug in order to go work for the Joker. But he doesn't really know.
To live in Gotham,
Scrooge,
pretty much.
yeah,
Not
pretty
even
much.
once.
And he lives in like the crappiest apartment. And it's sad. He's got like the Charlie Brown tree, and Tim is like, "Oh boy, we're gonna have the best Christmas ever."
Yeah, I saw he was making ornaments out of beer cans and beer bottles.
That's all that Bob eats.
Bob
So
eats
he's
beer
really
cans.
a shitty dad.
He eats the contents of the beer
Well,
can.
he's lost his
Oh.
wife at some point. He's just
And they
descended
never
into a
address it.
bottle and-
Yes,
yeah.
he barely functions as an employee for Wayne. That's probably why he doesn't make much money, by the way. It's
Yeah.
probably because he's just a shitty employee.
So Bob Cratchit in the original Scrooge story is a good guy, and this Bob Cratchit is a scumbag.
Yeah,
he
kind
kinda
of.
sucks, it sounds like,
It's
yeah.
more like if he didn't have a kid, Batman would have beaten him to death. But
Oh, yeah. Oh, I know that feeling.
Yeah?
you got some demons, Santa.
Well, let's read some more comic books.
Good call, Santa. So, Batman is hunting down the Joker. He tracks down Bob. He scares the shit out of him, but then he
Right.
lets him go.
He puts a bat tracker on it.
Puts a bat tracker on him.
Yeah.
And
Right
he
on
lets
his
him go,
scarf.
but he also takes Bob's money. the money that he was paid.
it wasn't really
Well,
Bob's
yeah,
money.
it's
No,
dirty
it's
money.
What's the Joker's? Yeah.
Yeah.
And but Bob did the job so
Right.
that he could make the money for his kid.
Yeah, so he fucked over Bob.
Yeah, he fucked over Bob big time.
Well, did Batman get the package back?
No.
Oh.
No, Joker got the package. So he's like, he got away with it. You don't even know what you've unleashed on the city. But then he lets him go so that he can track him because he knows that Joker is probably going to double cross Bob and steal his money back. So he's like, when Joker goes to this poor man's apartment, I will be there
Right.
to get him. And everyone who knows Batman is like, what a shitty thing to do.
Yeah.
This guy's got a
Seriously.
kid, and you're going to let
Yeah.
the Joker go into his apartment?
Yeah.
And you're just going to trust that you're going to get there before Joker does something horrible to them?
Right. Well,
Guess
but
what?
Joker
He's
was
probably-
going to go to his apartment anyway, no matter.
That's
if
the
Batman
thing.
hadn't shown up.
Well,
that
the thing
was
is,
gonna happen.
Batman probably had a really good feeling about it.
That's
So-
very true.
So you know.
Yeah.
Well, the money was probably already poisoned, so Bob's already dead.
Well, it's not poison. Yeah, although that is a thing the Joker would do. We go back to the Batcave, and Batman is hatching his plan, and Alfred's like, so you're gonna let the Joker go? But you're an asshole.
Yeah.
And, you know...
No, I think it's a great plan.
Yeah.
We're gonna
Batman's
go with
like,
that.
I'm fine with it. And
Let's go
this
with
is-
Batman's plan.
This is when
That's
Batman
why I'm
starts
called
to...
Batman and you're called Alfred.
Yeah, there's no book called Alfred.
No, I'm called Batman, and you're called Shut Up and Get Me My Coffee.
That's right, Alfred. Alfred, man.
So then Batman starts to develop his cough, and it's
Right.
during... And it's his...
He's getting sick because he's like sick in the soul.
Yes.
That's
Well,
deep.
he's all-
That's
Bruce's
pretty
or
deep.
Batman?
Yeah.
This book is deep.
Yeah. Oh, it's real deep. So at one point, while in his pre-pneumonia state, he gets visited by the ghost of Jason Todd,
Oh.
his second Robin who died. The Joker killed,
Is that like Marley?
and he's like Marley.
Yeah,
And he's
okay.
like, if you
Got it.
keep doing this,
I
Right.
see.
bad things are gonna happen.
Yeah.
And Batman's like, shut up, ghost! I don't have to listen to you.
You're not even real.
So
You're not even
maybe-
real.
So these ghosts are almost like hallucinations, like
Yeah.
like disease-inspired hallucinations.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That, by the way,
Perfect.
this is the last time you see any ghosts. Every other character that appears represents a ghost, but is actually happening.
Is actually a person.
He goes to Gordon.
or are they? Because Batman's sick. Like
it's
anything
true.
could be.
That's actually a good point.
It could all be a
because
hallucination.
Throughout the whole story, it is actually kind of implied that there's an element of the fantastic going on where.
Okay.
But each character is warning Batman, like,
Well,
don't
there's-
be a dick.
There could
Right.
also be an element of the fantastic because this
Batman's
is
like,
being
I'll be a
relayed.
dick all
by
I
someone.
want.
It's true.
Okay. It's part of my job description.
Yeah, he's telling a story to his
Batman.
kid. He's like, I have to embellish it a little bit.
Yeah.
I have to
Oh,
I have
no,
to show
he's
my
not
kid.
talking
No,
about
Bob
Batman.
is not telling the Batman story. He's literally telling the Scrooge story.
But the
And-
events that parallel those events in
Yep.
the Batman story are happening on the same page.
Yes, and it's really distracting to read. Because Bob has a very distinct way of talking, and he's telling a totally different story from the one that's happening.
And you're just
Right.
seeing the Batman story unfold.
Yep, while
To
he's
the
telling
narration of
of
Yeah.
A Christmas Carol.
of A Christmas Carol.
Right.
Precisely.
Okay.
That's awful. I agree. Completely distracting.
Yeah, it is very
that does seem
distracting.
distracting.
So-
You know what else is
Okay.
distracting? Catwoman's face is kind of distracting.
Oh?
She's like
Right there?
She's almost like Joker looking there.
Yeah.
Like this, like-
Well, and that could be deliberate because Batman is obsessing over catching the Joker.
Right.
You know, there's like all these smiles are throughout the book.
right.
But I think it's more that she represents the Ghost of Christmas Past and the element of playfulness that began Batman's career. She's like, remember all those fun adventures, like you earlier. She was like, remember all those fun adventures that we went on.
like those adventures, right, Ben? Let me see this. Let me see some adventures here. I think Ben had this book enough. Yeah, there you go. Should I just start telling this story?
Yeah.
Let me just read it to you guys. This is great. I like the illustration here around the nether regions. Pretty nice.
It's very prominent.
yeah, Catwoman is known for her
But
skin
dumb.
tight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
for her looks.
Yeah.
But so she gives chase to Batman and kind of leads him down this merry trail. She's like, remember
She
those old-"
wants him to chase her.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
'Cause,
he's
you know,
sick.
that's-
She should be like, oh,
Yeah.
go home and have some soup.
No. Yeah. Well, eventually he
doesn't
catches
really
her,
know
and then he's like, "You're gonna stop playing around!" And she's like, "Holy God!" She's like, "You're kind of a dick," and then she leaves, and then he tries to chase after her, and then he slips
Oh.
and lands in an alley
Whoop.
Batman slips.
because
Because he's all
messed up from
Yeah.
his
Yeah.
From
pneumonia.
pneumonia,
He's
yeah.
all messed up.
I see it.
He's all messed up.
I'm all messed up.
She's just a big tease, you know?
That's what she is
She
in this
is.
book,
That's
certainly.
literally her
Yeah.
character.
Celine.
That's
Well,
Yeah.
and a villain.
yeah.
What a tease.
Yeah.
Even
Kind
kind
of.
of.
Well, she's a thief.
Yes, she's a
She's
thief.
a chaotic
Technically,
neutral.
yeah. That's if there were a DC RPG, which there is, That's true.
if there was, and
there
there
is.
actually is.
There definitely is.
All right.
But
I'm
yeah,
with you guys. This is great. I'm
Thank
like, you want this book back?
I'll hold it for you.
All right,
Like,
you can hold it. You want to turn the page too?
yeah, why not?
Woo, Santa! You could have turned the page, but
But
I mean, you did turn it.
Yeah.
But if you didn't, I would have turned it with my magic.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Just
I'll take your word for it.
all right.
Yeah.
Yes.
I totally believe you
So
can do that.
I could have turned that
problem.
page too for you, but that's cool. So far, so good, Salbert. I'm digging this.
Oh, so he falls in an alley.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Imagines his
Hey, you're
parents.
Woo!
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
This
so
is
glad we
great.
did. Santa.
We're really, lucky to have you.
Fantastic, Ethan. How's it going over
Oh,
there?
it's great.
Is it good?
It's great.
It's nice and cushy.
Oh, yeah.
Nice and soft.
No, no.
All right.
Yeah.
What happens next?
Well, Batman sees his past. He sees the origins. You know, where he watches his parents get murdered again, and then Superman shows up,
Oh,
and Superman represents the ghost of Christmas present because
he's his friend right now.
Yes.
He's around.
And the Ghost of Christmas Present is always a jolly person.
that's right, and always
And
very
Superman's
bright.
a goody-goody.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
so-
look, the colors.
yeah, the colors
They're
are
popping now.
Well, he's very
They are popping.
ethereal. He looks
This comic is popping
very good
with
yeah.
colors
That's
right now.
Yeah.
Did you see what I did there?
It's a
Yes.
I
comic.
did. I saw that.
That's-
You linked it with
that's-
our name.
the name
It's
of
a
the channel.
comic
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
pops.
we
Yeah,
got it.
you know, actually,
Forgive me.
Barbara Ciardo did the colors, but
All right. Well, you know, Santa usually just uses magic.
that's true.
Right,
Just
so you
bad.
wouldn't know anything about
you
it.
know.
Well, and the
Well,
premise of the show is
You're
that
right. I
you guys
have
don't
no
read the comics.
freaking clue
What's happening?
what happens with comics.
Yeah.
I'm just soaking it all in.
You're a
right?
perfect
Good.
guest on
Well,
the
this is
show.
great.
That's right. This is how the show works.
Yeah.
I'm like overqualified for this show. You know what I'm
Good
saying,
point.
you guys? Woo-hoo.
He's the guy, by the way. He uses X-ray vision. He's like, your lungs are filled with fluid. Like you have pneumonia. Like you have to stop. And Ben's like, oh, I'm doing fine.
Superman should just be
I'll
a
tell you
doctor.
what I've just
Yeah,
done.
he really
He'd probably
should.
save more lives just working
You
in a
know,
hospital.
there's actually a book that we talk about called Superman Grounded, in which many characters make that point. So you'd be perfect for that episode.
Indeed.
So Superman is, he's like, would you mind if I come with you? You know, make sure you don't fucking die or fall
Right.
off a building. And Batman's like,
you did-
I
you
can't
did that
stop
once.
you because you're Kryptonian. So the two of them sit there like casing Bob's apartment, watching Bob and Timmy playing, Christmas games or whatever. It's really, and by the way, there's Christmas games like Bob getting drunk and Tim coloring. So Batman
Let's
and,
play the drinking game. I drink.
and you shut up
color.
and go sleep.
That's
Stay out
Daddy's
of my
favorite
way.
game.
Good night. So, Tim is talking about how he's a kid who lives in Gotham, so naturally he's gravitated towards Batman.
Right.
And he's like, man, we should be able to, if we can get some money, we can afford to get a Batman ornament. And Bob's like, whoa, we need a Batman ornament. Batman's not so great. It's like, by the way, Batman might, people think he's a good guy, but maybe sometimes he hassles people, who work really hard, like your old man, for example.
Sometimes he takes things that they earned
Very hard.
through their hard work.
Like
Yeah.
my money.
That they were owed.
Yeah.
That they were
They
gonna.
were paid for a job that they did.
Yeah.
Maybe if you got some Christmas wood here,
Yeah.
you'd be happy that Batman was a fuck up.
Superman does the Christmas present thing where he
Right.
takes Batman across the city and he's like, this place is filled with beauty and love and magic and everyone's happy and look at all the things that you neglect and do because
Right.
you're being Batman and you're a humorless dick. Like, look at this. Like, look at your good friend, Commissioner Gordon. Even he's having a good time. And he mirrors the whole conversation that Cratchit and his wife have about Scrooge, where like all the family comes over and then
Right.
Bob
Like we
and-
shouldn't fight
Okay.
them. Like no.
What about your boss?
I don't
Well,
like.
well, no. Cratchit drinks a toast to Scrooge, and everyone's like, well,
Why him? You're just like
yeah.
because
the
he
founder of the
needs it.
feast, indeed. That's
So his wife is like, oh, Batman. Like,
Well,
he's a
Bruce Wayne.
vigilante.
yeah. It's basically Gordon, his like deputy, and his wife, and they're like, man, like it's so great to know that everyone's having a nice time out there, and Christmas is, making everyone feel good, and Batman's protecting us. And like, Batman, he's a lunatic in a bat costume. He's not helping anybody. He's an asshole.
No, nobody really like Batman. I don't think we asked for your help.
No, it's
and
true.
We're doing just poorly enough as it is.
Yeah.
You have to go and Batman it all
And
up.
No,
beat
it's
the
true.
crap out of many of us every night.
Yeah.
I mean, do we ever see a Gotham that's like peaceful?
I mean,
I don't think that Gotham
No, you
exists.
never
we
see
do in a book called Kingdom Come.
Okay.
Where Batman...
It's peaceful, yeah.
It's peaceful because Batman turns into a police state.
Okay.
He rules the city.
right.
He
with
rules
an
the city
iron
with an iron
fist.
fist. Yeah, he runs it with like Batman robots that he has patrolling the city day and night.
I'm just thinking to myself, like, Batman, you're doing an awful lot of work, and it still looks like Gotham.
It still sucks.
Well, and it's interesting you
Gotham
say that
sucks, dude.
because when we get to the Ghost of Christmas Future, we see a little vision of Gotham in the future without Batman.
Oh.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Is it nice?
No.
Little
So
foreshadowing
is that like
there.
to like tell Batman like you really got to take care of your pneumonia because the city?
Well, and also, like, you need to
Needs you.
chill out.
And stop coughing on
like-
everyone with your fucking
Yeah,
pneumonia.
you've literally infected about 12 people.
I'm about to infect this whole couch here.
noticed that.
Oh, dude.
with
You're the
Christmas,
lucky one over
with
there.
Christmas cheer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, with cheer. Christmas
Okay.
cheer.
Yeah.
I see.
Okay.
Santa.
So, Batman's like, okay, you carried me enough. It's time to let me down now. So Superman lets him down.
Kryptonite.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. See, Superman can do that,
Yeah.
too.
So Superman lets him off by the Batmobile, and then Batman, like, goes to, like, unlock the door, and a bomb goes off that the Joker set. And then Joker just drags Batman's, like, unconscious body into a graveyard and then buries him alive.
Oh shit.
That's fantastic.
Joker's like, you toolbox. Like, if you weren't running yourself ragged, you would have noticed that I put a bomb there and then wouldn't have fallen for it. But because you did, you die.
Right.
But horribly and, from suffocation.
Well,
Right.
I'm not actually killing you. I'm letting nature kill you because I'm suffocating you onto the ground.
That's right.
Yeah,
I
Joker's
would
actually a
assume
good
that
guy,
you-
right? 'Cause
Yeah.
He gives,
And if
gives
you
him
make
the
it out,
chance.
that's
No,
fine.
he's a really
You
bad
guys all
guy.
have fun.
Oh, yeah,
Good
no,
on you.
sorry.
Yeah.
You're right.
Because later,
Joker's awful.
yeah, it's true.
I'm not shooting
What
you in
was
the
I
face.
thinking?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not going to beat you to death with a crowbar. I'm just going to bury you under
I'm
the
just gonna
ground.
bury you alive.
I'll bury you in the ground.
So, yeah.
So he's underground.
So he's underground, and that's...
was that the Ghost of Christmas Future, the Joker? or-
Joker represents the Ghost of Christmas Future.
He does show him the grave. I mean,
he
that's a
takes
very,
him to the grave.
That's
Right.
very
definitely-
good mark.
And-
I mean, in the original story, the Ghost of Christmas
Future.
Future, he's not such a pleasant guy.
No, he's the scariest.
He's scary. He's a
Yeah,
scary guy.
exactly.
So
So,
that makes sense.
you pick the scariest villain to represent that. Although, if I were playing with this, I might make Scarecrow the Ghost of Christmas Future.
Okay.
Because, like, he is all about
Nightmares?
fear.
And it's all about
Yes,
fears.
fear,
yeah,
I
but
agree.
we don't have a lot of time. We
But
gotta move on.
Batman can't succumb to fear.
No, he does all the time. He's got a villain about fear. Like,
Yeah,
his
he gets
greatest fear
He
is
gets the fear gas, and he has
hallucinations.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Usually
but that
his
doesn't
fear
make
is
him
like
change who he is.
no, but like usually his fears are crippling. Like Gotham has fallen into darkness, or like he lets another partner die, or he relives the
relives
trauma
his
of his
parents'
parents.
dying.
We're more or
And
less
his father,
there
like, is
without the gas,
disappointed.
though.
Oh yeah,
Like-
no,
like he's-
because he's got the pneumonia and he's
Yeah.
being suffocated from all the dirt on top of him.
Right.
I think he's actually in a
Well,
box.
he has
so-
this horrifying vision of the future.
And the idea being that with Batman's death, there's this vacuum in Gotham, a power vacuum, and Gotham is more or less split into two camps, Joker and Batman. And people basically kind of become like a really more horror version of the Sons of Batman from Dark Knight Returns,
Yeah, yeah.
where they like, Batman would want us to keep justice in Gotham,
Right.
and they just like
Murder people.
indiscriminately beat people and attack them and like loot.
Little do we know, this is the nightmare Batman has every night.
Well, it's more like this is his like utopian vision. He's like, yes,
I have to prevent this by being Batman.
yeah. I think it's more like he's like, this looks great.
No.
It's
awesome.
It's
No.
justice and chaos duking it out in the
Yeah.
streets every
I mean,
night.
it's
No, it's what he tries to prevent.
no, it's true.
Yeah.
And then of course there's the opposite element, and those are the people who represent the Joker.
Right,
And so
and
everyone's
they're-
like painted their face, and
Yeah.
it's just a representative of the constant struggle between Batman and Joker, and Batman versus chaos, and
Right.
like
It's the whole Gotham
versus
City
evil.
Imposters video game, but
Yes.
a little more violent.
well,
This is
yeah.
a delightful Christmas story. I love
It is. It is.
love
Yeah.
this.
I mean, not quite. 'Twas the night before Christmas, but more. And then, of course, after we see this cool like Warriors type vision, we then see what happens to everyone who cares about Batman afterwards. Like Alfred goes to jail because he's been aiding and abetting a known vigilante, and Commissioner Gordon is finally indicted for aiding and abetting this vigilante as well, and
yeah.
it just all falls apart. Well,
Nightmare vision of the future.
of the future, if
Yeah.
Batman fails to
Right.
redeem
Joker
himself,
took him
Stay
there.
to
alive.
stay alive. I mean, it's not.
To not die of pneumonia.
It's not. The lesson isn't like don't die, Batman. The lesson is don't be such a dick.
But how does him being a dick lead to
to
him
the-
not being in Gotham anymore?
Yeah,
Well,
it makes no
it's
sense.
it's just more like, well, now that you're dead and you didn't set an example
Oh.
while you were alive, this is where Gotham.
So
will
is
He
go.
did set an example. This is the example.
Well,
This is
That's
what-
right. That's right. And
uh,
that's not the right example he should be setting.
Right. Like,
real
if
lesson
he keeps going the way he does, people who idolize him will be like this, like killing random people in the
Yes,
street.
instead
in
of
his
like
name.
Timmy, who does idolize him, but is in a pure form.
Right.
Right.
It's also why Tim when he draws Batman, he draws
smiling him?
Well, he's number one, Batman smiling, but number two, he's drawing him with like the yellow emblem around the bat. Like representing an older, simpler, like happier Batman,
Yeah.
as opposed to like the darker.
Back to the simple times of
Yeah.
Batman.
A
Exactly.
swinging hip 1960s
No,
Batman.
not that
No,
one.
not
He's the
that
worst
Batman.
Batman ever. So Batman climbs out of the grave,
Right.
a changed
How?
man. Well, because he's Batman. Like Batman's
Oh.
escaped from these
Because he's Batman, yeah.
because he's Batman.
Yeah.
So Batman escapes, but it takes him a while, and so as such, he's not there to stop the Joker from showing up at Bob and Tim's apartment.
Yeah.
And he does, and he
here
scares
it
the
is.
hell out of them.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh boy.
And Bob tries to
Fight him.
off, but obviously Joker gets the upper hand.
Because, I mean, if Bob could beat the Joker, this book would just be
Well, then
terrible.
Bob should put on a costume and go fix things, because he's more effective than Batman.
But
makes
wait,
a-
hold on. Let's go back to the beginning of the story. Bob
Yeah.
has Joker's money?
Well, Joker thinks he
Yeah, he
has
he
his
has the
money.
money.
So he goes there and he's like, "Where's my money?"
Right. He's
And-
like, Batman took it, man.
Yeah, and he's like, "Batman took it." He's like, "No, he didn't.
Bullshit.
Look at
I
this
was
house."
just there.
Yeah,
Look at
I
his
just
house.
buried
This
him
house-
alive.
Buried Batman. He didn't have anything on him.
This looks terrible. How can you think that I have any money?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you
I would have gotten my kid, like, a PlayStation.
Instead of a coloring book.
Yeah.
I noticed
Oh,
there's a
Batman.
nice clue reference here on this
Oh, he
page.
constantly makes clue references.
Really?
No, throughout this whole
What?
sequence, Joker just gravitates towards making clue references. Like,
Why?
It was me in the living room with the revolver. He like
Right.
points his gun at him.
Well, I got doing one in that scenario.
No, but he constantly does it throughout this whole
That's weird.
sequence. It's a weird decision, and like there's a lot of that in this. Well, Bermejo is not like for his like out of the gate. I'm gonna write and draw this book.
Yeah.
It is not that great written wise.
It looks fun.
Shots fired, Bermejo.
It's true, but the story is compelling, and the narrative flow works to most degrees,
Aside from when Bob is being terrible.
except for when
and
Bob
narrating.
talks.
Yeah, the narrating, yeah.
Yeah, because whenever he narrates, because he also has to infuse the fantastic into it. He has to play with he's trying to to emulate Dickens.
You gotta know
That's
what
not-
the hell you're doing.
Exactly.
You can't just do that.
Yeah, that's really the thread on this on the Christmas sweater of this book. Is
Right.
you're rewriting Dickens.
Yeah. And you ain't Dickens.
No, you're a good artist.
You don't know Dickens.
Damn right.
You ain't Dickens, you dick.
That's right. So Batman shows up and he knocks the gun out of Joker's hand, and Bob gets the gun.
Oh.
And now Bob's got the upper hand.
So now Bob's gonna kill the Joker.
Yes.
Maybe.
And Batman is like, "Don't kill the Joker. You have to be a hero for your son." Like Batman learns a lesson about
This is me being a hero for my son.
Yeah.
Blam.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, idiot. Boom.
He's
Guess
not
what?
gonna stop coming after me.
Yeah.
It's not like he's gonna forget me.
Yeah.
So, but no.
That's
uh,
what Bob's
we
thinking.
pretend that he
yeah.
does.
So we pretend the Joker's going to forget about it, and Bob throws away the gun, and Joker's like, "Oh, you're boring. Like, I can't believe that neither of you will kill me."
Right.
Yeah.
Joker might like that.
I think he would. I think he'd
He's
find
like,
that
you know
amazing.
what? I've had a good run.
Yeah,
And
but-
by a good run, I mean I've been a horrible person.
That's right.
And then somebody should end my life.
Yeah, and wouldn't it be amazing if he did it in front of his 5-year-old son?
Yeah. That would be good for Joker. Joker
That's what
would
I'm saying.
enjoy
He would love that.
He would love that.
So the cops arrest Joker. Joker goes away. Batman takes a nap, and that's
now.
his end. The end of Batman's story is the end of the Batman story is he literally he gets the sleep that everyone told him he needed to get.
Oh.
And then he's cured of his pneumonia? That's not how you cure pneumonia.
Well, probably Alfred slips him some antibiotics while he's asleep.
He does actually. Right there, there's some antibiotics that are just
Okay.
kind of
Well,
haphazardly
snap.
strewn about.
Okay.
Although those could also be his opiates,
Yeah.
to stay up all night.
that's his
Both,
cold medicine.
yeah, his
Yeah.
blood pressure was-
You're cold medicine, sir.
yeah. Oh, good. I've got a real cough. So then, after he wakes up, he sends Bob some a tree, a real tree, instead of the beer tree that his son was making.
Nice.
He learns a
Bob's
lesson. He's
like, oh, gee, a tree. Thanks. That'll pay all my bills.
he also gives them.
And that'll keep us from starving.
He also gives them a 401k and
Oh, all right, all
right.
right. Getting a little sweeter. Sweeter
Tree
deal.
is just
Sweeten the deal.
symbolic.
Yes.
A
What he does, yeah.
401k? So he can retire?
Yeah, it literally says that.
So he can.
He
retire.
could die beforehand!
Well,
Yeah, well, no,
then
but
his
but
401k
it's for
will
his
roll
son.
over to his
Yeah.
son.
Hopefully his son.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
So-
mean, who cares about Bob anyway?
Yeah.
How
So
about you just increase his wages?
Well, he probably
does.
does that too.
he does it all.
And the 401k.
Now,
A raise, benefits, PTO, 401k.
Well, I didn't even have
Oh,
benefits
okay,
or-
well,
the
well.
works.
The word.
The
now
works.
it's being a little
Although
bit.
I will say, they don't move into a better apartment.
Oh no, you don't want to. You get a windfall. You don't just suddenly change everything.
No, yeah, it's true.
You take some time and you evaluate.
That's right. Yeah.
Maybe you invest some of that money. Maybe you landed yourself a cheap apartment. You gotta.
Yeah,
That's true. It's rent controlled.
You can still raise
Your
your son in the
grandfather
nose.
Yeah.
Maybe you just
It's
get a
fine.
whole bunch of meth and just, blow it all in one night.
Well, I think
Was
that
that
would
what happened, Sal?
That's not
I'm
what
not
happened.
suggesting Santa would do that. I'm just
Oh,
saying.
good.
Right.
That would be a pretty dark message from Santa.
Well, that's
No.
the real message. Is not even once. You have to do it more than once. You have to do it
constantly.
a lot to balance out the math.
Yeah.
So anyway, the story ends with Batman getting some sleep and Bob and Tim getting some money from the rich guy. Like it just kind of and then
it's like the way he's.
Do you feel like it should have
Scrooge
ended
gives-
differently?
No, I mean
Yes.
like, it pretty much does end the same way. They get a Christmas goose, they get the tree,
Yeah.
they
But
get
it
the
should have
money.
ended differently.
And
This
Scrooge
doesn't
gives
change Batman
Cratchit
at all.
or-
No, it doesn't change Batman
a
whatsoever.
raise.
Yeah,
And it's the way the actual story ends that it's modeled on. So
Yeah.
like, it kind of.
So how many
except
people?
Scrooge really goes through a true transformation, whereas Batman's transformation is a little flimsy.
Yeah, well,
Little
because
flimsy.
Batman wasn't a horrible dick.
No,
like,
they had
in
to-
continuity or anything.
They really had to like amp up his douchebaggery,
Yeah.
so
make
that they
him
could
fit
dial it
the-
down at the
yeah.
end.
Yeah.
So
It's a stretch.
it is a stretch, but out of continuity as like a Christmas story, it kind of works.
Okay.
All right. So
well-
what? You give like the book a rating?
No, I don't
You
really
give
do
it like
that. I just
2
really.
thumbs up. Or
I mean,
something?
we could entertain
You
that idea.
could
but-
if you want. I guess it's not really. What
Well,
we
it's a
do
Christmas show, you guys. We got to do something kind of special.
here.
Yeah, that's
A little
right.
Santa magic.
Is rating things part of the Christmas spirit? Is that?
Maybe not rating things, but
Yeah.
I
I'm
s-
thinking maybe we should have like a Christmas like moral of the story.
Oh,
You know
okay,
what I
like a
mean?
lesson.
Oh,
What did we
okay.
learn here?
Yeah,
All right.
good
I mean, to recap, I think don't be a dick.
Yeah, I guess that's
one.
That's lesson number 1.
Yeah.
That's a good lesson, kids.
Yeah,
Don't be a dick.
I like that.
Okay.
Don't
What
get
else?
yourself sick.
You don't run yourself
And then,
ragged. Yeah.
and then be sick around other people.
you
Right.
don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, Be considerate.
don't. Right?
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah,
I got you.
Yeah, it's true.
And don't try to rewrite Dickens.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
That's,
Come on.
That's the
probably the most
Although
important.
the fact is, this is a very highly acclaimed book. It sold a lot of copies.
But perhaps
Okay.
would be more effective if they didn't actually have the retelling of the Christmas story.
I
Just
feel
do
like
your
that's true.
story.
Yeah.
Just do your Batman story. I think we'll get it.
Right. Like I think they were afraid we wouldn't.
Right.
Afraid
Which
we
is kinda
wouldn't.
like insulting
Like understand
your
that
Ah.
it was all about the
They
story.
could
of
have
Christmas
just
Carol.
went totally Batman.
Yeah, total
Yeah.
comic book.
And
And without the narration in the background.
Yeah,
Without
I think
narration.
I'd respect it more.
When I
allowed the audience to be intelligent.
Yeah, I read it the first time I read it. I read them all. Like I read all the words on the page, and it was like,
Right.
ah.
It's too much.
The other day, I picked it up and read it, and I just read the straight up comic, and I was like, oh, I like this more.
Yeah.
okay.
Did you go back and then read the narration?
No, I tried to though. I was like, you know what? Now with their dash, I don't give a fuck.
I was going to say, with this whole transformation of Batman and like how he's supposed to change, how many people were either robbed or murdered in the span when he was napping and recuperating?
Oh, I mean,
Clearly, like that's
He's got to
that's
sleep
the
at
real
some
thing.
point.
Yeah, he
People
can't-
will,
he's not inhuman. He has to actually do human things. Like you could make the argument. How many people were mugged when he was taking a dump? Well, listen.
he does that in his suit.
Yeah, he
There's
has a
system
bat
involved.
diaper. He probably does actually have. Like, we know he has a batheter, and we probably has bat.
Oh man.
But hey, you know what? I think you're right, Santa. That was a good idea of spreading the Christmas cheer around. And how about this? In the comment section down below, you've seen this book, Batman, given A Christmas Carol treatment. What superhero would be better than Batman for the Christmas Carol treatment? Give us your pitch in the comment section down below. We're going to pick our favorite one. The winner will get a copy of Batman Noel. Don't enter unless you want to tell me your contact information. Because every time we do this, the winner is impossible to reach.
And they got to be like their hero and why.
Yeah, and
Like,
why.
don't just say like
Yeah.
Aquaman.
Aquaman! You do it!
Basically, you should just rewrite the story.
Yeah.
Send it to us
And then
in
we'll
comic
pitch
book
it.
form.
We'll pitch it to DC.
Yeah, and then you can know that you helped make me a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's the Christmas spirit.
Now we're talking, Sal.
Flipping it
Christmas
around.
spirit.
That's right. Cat.
And if it ain't the Christmas spirit, well,
Christmas
you better
in America.
believe it's the American spirit.
Agreed. Anyway, thank you guys so much for checking out this episode of Back Issues, our holiday-themed episode. Thank you, Santa, for joining us.
Thank
in this
you,
episode.
Sal.
That was our
Yeah.
This
pleasure
was
having you.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ben.
I'm glad we stayed on the couch this time.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ethan,
Yeah.
over there on the
Sure.
outskirts of the couch.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess you got lots of work to do, right? You gotta get out of
Yeah, I
here.
guess. I mean, you know.
Oh, you thinking about sticking around?
I mean, what are you guys doing?
Well, I mean, like I'm probably gonna go to bed pretty soon.
Yeah, it's
like,
pretty late.
yeah.
I gotta
Oh,
yeah,
goodness.
the old dusty trail.
I'm getting old.
Oh.
Ho-ho.
Yeah.
I guess.